My idea for Time Flies By was to show how time goes by when you're having fun and how it moves slowly when you are bored. I took my camera to an empty lecture room to show this is a lecture room, but it's a bit of tongue-in-cheek, really. I took a lot of videos of the clock and I have them at different positions and a zoom in on the clock as well. So later in post I could show how time goes by slowly and how it can go by quickly by the ticking of the second hand, but also at them at different positions to show how close they are, how your thoughts of a fun activity is getting closer towards you, whilst when the clock moves very, very closer towards you, it shows how time is going faster for you. One of the shots I had a problem with is the midway through the piece. I had to struggle to find out what was mundane shots and that were not boring but not essentially exciting either, to show normal passage of time going by. For the end piece of what I was showing for something exciting, I chose my D&D sessions that I do on Sunday as a fun thing that, in my mind, I look forward to during the week. For the audio, I wanted a ticking clock to play through the whole piece, but slowly and speeding up to show the piece go by either slowly or speeding up. Unfortunately, I couldn't use my original audio for the clock, so I had to add a clock sound and sync it up with all of my clock images and the footage. In post, I like to follow Regrav's quote of just imagine the way the story should be told, and I do it. Regath R 2018. But in post, I kept having problems as my first shoot did not work properly and I had to reshoot the whole thing. I kept changing ideas in post a lot, but I settled with what I started with, just slow motion footage and then sped up footage near the end showing time going by when you're having fun and slowly when time is going by when you're bored. But what I found was that the beginning was very boring and visually unpleasing to look at, especially when I took out the saturation from the beginning of the shoot and turned up the saturation, the color for the end of the shoot. The beginning looked very boring and dull, and I could barely watch it myself. I tried to change this by putting in a lot of fun edits to it to make it a little bit more visually pleasing without it being incredibly boring, but showing boring footage to show that you were bored. I also added at the end of the footage, for it to be good story-wise, I added it me coming back to the very beginning of me being bored in a lecture room, again being a bit tongue-in-cheek, to make it a full story of that's like a whole week going by.